What's good, YouTube? Listen, today I am starting something that I'm going to talk about today. That's very important for our life and style. If you don't know me, I am Michael Andrew, aka the Cat in the Hat, resident fly guy, and chief architect of stylearchitects.com. And this is going to be no cap conversation, so I'm going to take this off so we can have some conversations um, about something that's very, very important, and that is consistency. And one of the most difficult things and challenging things for individuals, especially for men, is remaining consistent. And I've been doing a lot of soul searching, been doing a lot of research on how I can cultivate and develop my own personal style development for other individuals. And one of the things that I was running into was that I had been being inconsistent with the people that I was working with. I mean, just think, I've been on YouTube for almost 7 years, actually almost 9 years at this point, and have inconsistently posted on my channel. Now, this channel could have evolved, it could have changed, it could have pivoted, all these other different types of things. That's perfectly fine as long as I was remaining consistent. But because of my inconsistencies, I was never able to really build a tribe, to build a following, to build friends that were going to be able to be cultivated for until today. I've committed to making that change for myself. And I've seen this show up in the rest of my life. So if you ever heard Jim Rome, he's said, famously said that how you do anything is how you're going to do everything. And so a lot of times we will be inconsistent, or we will have some level of inconsistency in one part of our life and not see that it's showing up in every part of our life. But what if we could change that? What if we could alter how we are consciously interacting with the world so that we could transform our habits and transform how we're going to show up? That is what I'm focused on for the rest of 2023 and the rest of 2022. And so the consistency is something small. Today I woke up, I worked out. I've been inconsistent with my working out, and so I had to ask myself why I was being inconsistent. And a lot of times it was because I just didn't feel like it. I would allow some excuse to come into the fray to keep me from doing what I needed to do. And I was listening to my morning motivation, which I've been doing consistently, so I had to make sure I gave myself a pat on the back for that. And one of the things that Tony Robbins talks about is that we don't get our wants. Everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants to lose weight. Everybody wants to be more fit or more healthy, right? We don't get those things. And what we often get is our must, what we must have. And I realized that for me, for the longest time, my moves weren't must. They were simply wants. I just wanted to work out. I wanted to post on YouTube, but it wasn't a must. And it wasn't until recently when I discovered that these things are a must because these things are tied to my purpose that I was more, not even motivated, but I was compelled to start showing up in this way. So for me, I had to start being consistent. And that does not mean that you're not going to fall off. That doesn't mean that you're going to not have shortcomings. But the most important thing is if you missed one day, to make sure that you're making it up another day. So this week, I've really been focused on being consistent. And Monday, my off day, when this should have happened without any issue, I missed my workout in the morning. And so I was like, oh man, I missed my workout. It's not that bad. I'll just work out tomorrow. And something inside of me was like, no, we must work out. And so I, at 7 p.m., wanted to eat, wanted to just kind of relax and start to decompress, was like, nope, we got to go to the gym. So I went to the gym, worked out, and it was amazing in what it did for me for the rest of the week. Not only for that day, but for the rest of the week. Because Tuesday, I knew it was a must that I get up and go work out in the morning. Wednesday, today, it was a must that I got up and went out and worked out this morning. So for me, this consistency is not only making me feel more confident because I am holding true to my word, which is something that a lot of us don't realize that we're doing when we're being inconsistent, is that we're essentially lying to ourselves, and that makes us more self-conscious instead of self-confident. But when you can keep your word with yourself, when you're saying, hey, I'm going to do this, and I'm telling myself that I'm doing this. I've written this contract with myself, sometimes literally and sometimes figuratively, and you commit to that and you remain consistent with it, it makes you more confident in yourself and how you're showing up, because you know that you can trust what it is that you are saying. And not only does that create self-confidence, that creates confidence in the people that you're going to interact with. So just think about it. If I am holding true to my own word. So when I say that I'm going to do something, you can take it to the bank, because really all confidence is credit, right? I can take that to the bank that I'm going to get it done. By hook or by crook, it's going to be done. Well, then when I start speaking that to other people, they're confident. They now give me credit in that space, and they're confident that I'm going to deliver on what I say that I'm going to deliver on, because I have that confidence. I've created that confidence in that other person. So that consistency is so important in life. We see that right there. Now, why is consistency important in style? Well, consistency is extremely important in style because it allows us to have a center point. Allows us to have a focal point that people can align themselves with. A lot of times what happens for guys when they're trying to develop their style, they're all over the place. And once again, how we do anything is how we do everything. And so what happens is they're trying to garner this style. They're trying to garner this style. They're trying to garner this style. They're hype beast. They're trying to be sartorial. They're trying to be streetwear. They're trying to be preppy, right? And we see that same thing in their life. We're seeing that they're trying to be a part of every social group that they think is cool or that is on or is trending at that time. And what they're doing is they're actually discounting themselves, because they never have anything that's going to be cohesive. They never have anything that's going to work together. Not because those clothing and those pieces can't coalesce and work together, right? Come to a capsule or come to something that they can utilize. In reality, what's happening is they don't have any awareness. They don't understand how something works together, because they haven't given themselves that time. And so what ends up happening is they go through this terrible cycle, unfortunately, of consistently purchasing things, going through the practice of purchasing all of these different types of things that don't work together, filling up their closet, and bragging about something that they actually are self-conscious about. I can't tell you how many guys in their 30s, right, who have said, yeah, man, I got a closet full of clothes. I still got tags on my clothes. And you're like, is that a humble brag? Like, are you bragging about having stuff that's unworn and underutilized that you spent hundreds, potentially thousands of dollars on? That's that's the hitter, right? Like, that's what we're supposed to be excited about. And when we get into the closet, they're actually like, I just don't know how this works. I don't know how this works together. I don't know how to utilize these items. So it's speaking to their lack of awareness in what it is that they're purchasing, or they didn't spend a lot of money, they believe, because it was, $50, $60 here. But then we start going through their closet and they realize that they have a cluttered closet that they've spent or wasted money on. They haven't even spent money on it. They've wasted money on some items that they don't that don't work together, and all it's doing is causing confusion. In reality, they're going back to the same pieces that they know work together, and that was actually the proper path because it was creating consistency. The only problem was it was a low vibration, it was a low level of consistency that they could have been elevating over the course of that time had they stuck with something. And had they been consistent in their style, the myth or the misconception is that they are going to be somehow less stylish because they're wearing the same thing over again, right? When we look at fashion designers like Tom Ford, we look at Karl Lagerfeld, we look at most designers who are, actually designing, they have a standard uniform. They have white t-shirt, jeans, some sneakers, or Tom Ford, a black suit. It's usually a three-piece suit with a white shirt, or he just has a black suit with a white shirt. And nobody's ever said Tom Ford is not stylish. Now, that might be partly because Tom Ford has all these clothes that he can choose from, and yet he still continues to go back to what is the truest form or the truest version of who he is and what he wants to represent when it comes to his personal expression. And so the ability to remain consistent actually makes you more stylish because it compartmentalizes somebody's understanding of who you are. Now, I've heard this conversation that, I don't want to be put into a box. And my question to a lot of those guys is why? Why wouldn't you want to be quote unquote boxed in? This is a structure. It's sturdy. It's something that people can lean on. It's something that people know that if they put something in it, it's going to encapsulate it. It's going to cover it. It's going to make sure that it is in a safe space. See, a lot of times we look at a box as a prison cell or as something that is going to be restrictive. But in all actuality, a box also allows you to stack a lot of different types of things in, a lot of different opportunities, a lot of different understandings, and you can build those things up until they are brimming with the fullness of your understanding of where you want to be. And then you can just move to the next box. I'm not telling a person that they can't have a diverse, different type of style. But if a guy is willing to sit down and actually be consistent in his consciousness, consistent in his aspirations, and consistent in his goals and his must, then what will end up happening is he will fill that stuff up to the brim, and he'll achieve the things that he wants to achieve, and they can move to the next goal, can move to the next plateau, can move to the next elevation, so that he can show up as the best version of himself. And if he's able to do that, then he's not only going to show up in life, he's going to show up in style, and everybody's going to want to be around that because he is somebody who is consistent. Much like I'm committed to being. I must be consistent. So I want you to try this on, see how it fits you. And if it fits you well, leave me some comments in the comment box letting me know one thing that you'll be consistent for this week. One thing that you're committed to being consistent about. Even if it's just waking up at the same time every day. Even if it's just stretching every day, or making sure that you are going to dress as the very best version of yourself each and every day. And right now is the best time to do it when it's cool, because you can be cool. You feel me? So I want you to try this on, see how it fits you, and don't forget to be great today. But then again, you already are. You know that. So now all you have to do is show up and show out in style. And don't ever forget that dress is nothing more than the expression of a man's state of mind. So you, as you, should always dress to express. I'll see you next week consistently. Peace.